Hare Krishna.
Welcome everyone to another reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam. It is the 2nd of January for us, so a couple of days after New Year's. So Happy New Year to everyone, and welcome to 2026. Praying we're able to continue reading regularly from the Bhagavatam and sharing with others, and praying that you all yourselves remain alive and inspired by the Srimad Bhagavatam and Srila Prabhupada's books. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We're reading from Canto 4, Chapter 28, Text 23.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 23. When the Yavanas were taking King Paranjan away to their place, binding him like an animal, the king's followers became greatly aggrieved. While they lamented, they were forced to go along with him. Purport. When Yamaraj and his assistants take a living entity away to the place of judgment, the life, air, and desires, being followers of the living entity, also go with him. This is confirmed in the Vedas. When the living entity is taken away or arrested by Yamaraj, tam utkramantam. The life air also goes with him, prano anutkramati. And when the life air is gone, pranam anutkramantam, all the senses, save prana, also go along, anutkramanti. When the living entity and the life air are gone, the lump of matter produced of 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, is rejected and left behind. The living entity then goes to the court of judgment, and Yamaraj decides what kind of body he is going to get next. This process is unknown to modern scientists. Every living entity is responsible for his activities in this life, and after death he is taken to the court of Yamaraj, where it is decided what kind of body he will take next. Although the gross material body is left, the living entity and his desires, as well as the resultant reactions of his past activities, go on. It is Yamaraj who decides what kind of body one gets next in accordance with one's past actions. We must be very busy, the amount of people that die every day, you know?
Well, he's got a big staff. Not like staff, but a lot of staff, let's say.
I guess.
Yes. You're keeping track of everything.
I know.
I forget what it's called, something like the Acacia Files or Acacia Bonding or something like that. Yeah, they're keeping track of every single thing that we do. They know it all.
They know it all.
They're know-it-alls. Literally, they're know-it-all.
I thought this point, when the living entity and the life air are gone, the lump of matter produced of 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, is rejected and left behind, meaning the body. And that body, which is the vehicle for the living entity when it's present in the body. You know?
Say it again.
When the living entity occupies the body is its vehicle for life.
Okay.
Do you understand?
I think I understand the principle. I mean, I found it a little difficult the way that phrased it. But yeah, when the living entity is in the body is the vehicle for life.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's so powerful in the sense that as soon as the living entity, what we call death, or he's dead or she's dead, whatever, that's when the spirit soul is left. It's like Yeah, as Prabhupada uses the word rejected, it's like it's just left, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because it's not just rejected by the jiva that's left, but immediately it's quite powerful. I sometimes think about this. 1 second it's like, oh yeah, yeah, you're cool, yeah. But if you drop dead, it's like, oh, it's a dead body, you know?
Mm.
And it becomes something completely different. And a lot of people can't deal with that as well, so they don't go to funerals and they get all freaked out by all that stuff.
Mm.
I just think that's really powerful. It's like literally, and it doesn't matter how ill you are and you're lying in hospital, but as long as you're still there, it's all good. And as soon as that person's gone, it's it can be disturbing or scary or just icky, like this dead body.
I was going to say icky feeling to just be in the same room,
Yeah.
and it's like, time to go now.
Yeah, it's quite powerful, and it's like, and it's the jiva that has been providing that auspiciousness and illumination, you know.
Mm. And then theoretically, it's kind of left the building.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that kind of get said. Yeah, no one wants to be kind of really hanging around with dead bodies. It's like, but people like parties, but who wants to work in a crematorium? There's plenty of bodies there, but there's no life in the party kind of thing. And that's because the jivas are missing. Actually, it's reminding me of, I'm listening to the Journey Home audio book at the moment. Radhanath Maharaj is narrating his book, The Journey Home, and he's just gotten to a point where he was in Kashi, Benares, and he saw a funeral procession, loads of ladies wailing, "Oh!" And then it went to the fire, and the body was decorated, and they chanted some mantras, and the sun circumambulated, lit the fire, and then he was just like, whoa, that body is now disintegrated, the body's gone. And then he took a vow to sit on the bank and just watch them cremate bodies every day for like a month or something, and just meditate on the temporal nature. And this is something that, of course, different ascetics do, even in the Catholic religion. I think previously, Marge, when they were in Italy or in Rome or somewhere, and he went into the catacombs, and so wasn't it like a sign that said, "What you are, I once was, and what I am, you will be," and it was like a skeleton, and it's like, oh dear Lord. Yeah, so we and that they do that because they really want to get a grasp, because we're just so caught up in so animated. But as we get older, we start to have these realizations, again, some people we know at the moment just struggling with old age, moving towards like sickness and heading towards death in their final days. It's not an easy situation. Text 24. The serpent, who had already been arrested by the soldiers of Yavanaraj and was out of the city, began to follow his master along with the others. As soon as they all left the city, it was immediately dismantled and smashed to dust. Purport. When the living entity is arrested, all his followers, namely the life air, the senses, and sense objects, immediately leave the lump of matter, the body. That's interesting. It mentions the sense objects. I wouldn't have thought that the sense objects were necessarily a part of the body. The sense organs, which is the senses, but immediately leave the lump of matter, the body. When the living entity and his companions leave, the body no longer works but turns into basic material elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. When a city attacked by enemies is vacated by its inhabitants, the enemy immediately takes advantage of the city and bombards it to smash the whole thing to dust. Of course, usually if someone invades a city, they don't necessarily smash it to dust. They just take over and continue to rule it. But sometimes I guess they do. When we say, dust thou art, and unto dust thou shalt return. Or the way I always heard it was ashes to ashes and dust to dust. We refer to the body. When a city is attacked and bombarded by the enemies, the citizens generally leave and the city ceases to exist. Anyway, we said a few things along the way, but yeah, general point is that sometimes people are still alive, but you can see that they've checked out, They're like just kind of there, but not really there. I remember visiting kind of grandmother in a nursing home once, and most of the time she was just kind of like, not exactly catatonic, but not really there. You could see. And I remember reading somewhere that people start to check out and kind of astrally, their subtle body starts preparing a place in another gross body. Already it's like they're entering into another body kind of on a subtle level, but they're definitely checked out.
Next paragraph. It is a foolish person who engages in improving the condition of a city without caring for the citizens or inhabitants. Similarly, a living entity who is not properly enlightened in spiritual knowledge simply takes care of the external body, not knowing that the spirit soul is the principal factor within the body. When one is advanced in spiritual knowledge, the spirit soul is saved from eternal transmigration. The Bhagavatam considers that those who are attached to their bodies to be like cows and asses. Saeva Gokara. The cow is a very innocent animal, and the ass is a beast of burden. One who labors under the bodily conception simply works like an ass and does not know his self-interest. It is therefore said, Yasya
Ma buddhi konupe tridatuke swadi kalatra dishuboma I jadihi yatirta buddhi sadile nakar hichej janeshwabi yeshu sa eva gokaraha.
Lance translation is a human being who identifies his body made of three elements with his self, who considers the byproducts of the body to be his kinsmen, who considers the land of birth worshipable, and who goes to a place of pilgrimage simply to take a bath rather than meet men of transcendental knowledge there, is to be considered like an ass or a cow. Bhagavatam 10:84-13. Strong words. Strong words, which I guess in one sense can be said if someone's convinced of the reality, And it's because sometimes Prabhupada's been criticized that why you speak like this and why it's so heavy. And I was often thinking that if he's, someone who's seen the light or realized like that, it's like, I think he gives examples in lectures where if you're trying to get through to someone because look, that building's on fire or this has happened, and they just don't listen, you may even resort to like giving them a slap or this, getting like, come on, it's so crazy. And you can see that a lot in Prabhupada's words, and when he's speaking, there's a sense of urgency and a sense of like, will you guys stop being so stupid and just wake up? And he's trying to even get the most basic concept across in most of his writings, which is, you're not your body. And it's like, if you just get that, if you just get that, the whole rest of it just opens up for you, and it comes across like that, And people who are not, I know some of my uncles were a bit like, why is he being rascal, why is he saying this? And but you kind of like, I was thinking, for him it's such a, like it's like that. It's like,
It's plain as the nose on my face, sort of thing.
And he's just trying to push that point through.
Trying to help. Wake up, Jeep Jaggo.
Yeah, and I was thinking just that when he was comfortably sitting in the Radha Damodar temple amongst people, whether they were exactly, there's different types of transcendentalists and spiritualists, but more or less I guess there were Vaishnavas there, but my point is this wouldn't have to be discussed at such a basic level, like he's sitting in the courtyard looking at the samadhi of, say, Rupa Goswami, discussing so many other topics. And then if you can imagine this gentleman, if I'm talking about Prabhupada, older in age and also so much knowledge, comes to America, and America is America. It's always been like, whoa, and then he comes there and then he sees all this stuff where he's seeing they're controlled by the three modes of material nature. There's so much opulence, and they're so immeasurable, and they're doing this and they're wasting life. Old men are playing golf like this. Or he's seeing all these things. You can imagine for him must have been like, what, like almost like it's not real, which it is, it's illusion, but it's like, is this really what is going on? And then he's having to really somehow speak in such a heavy and harsh way. Wake up, you think you're so intelligent because you're American, you think you're so intelligent, you're like this, and
I think he was speaking like that also in India, but there I think people are kind of used to hearing it, or the understanding is a little more prominent and prevalent. Like, one place Prabhupada said even a common farmer knows the basic principles of karma and reincarnation and accepts them. Yeah. So it's not like, whereas, it's like, important. Yeah, Prabhupada. I like that. Yeah, he's awake. He's seeing things as they are, and he's really just trying to get everyone else to see it. Like, the place is on fire.
Right.
Human civilization, devoid of Krishna consciousness, is simply a civilization of lower animals. Sometimes such a civilization may study the dead body and consider the brain or the heart. Okay. However, no part of the body is important unless the spirit soul is present. In a modern civilization of cows and asses, scientists try to search out some value in the brain or heart of a dead man. Interesting. So again, carrying on with this, idea of camel, ass or cow, and that these are like lower animals, and human society should not act like animals, they should act like humans. And this is a massive responsibility. Sukavaha Devi was giving class this morning. She was talking about how being in a human body is actually the most difficult, because animal bodies are running on mostly instinct, Of course, human bodies also are to a great extent, but we have the opportunity for free will and really making a choice to independently utilize our free will and this human form for a higher purpose, and not just to be like the animals. So in that way, it's the most difficult species to be in. So like that. Okay, I think we'll close here.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all very much. Again, have a happy new year, and we'll see you here next time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.